What is going on, guys? Space Trials 21 bounce that shit. Hit me up below because you already know 8 bars. Comment, subscribe, like, slime, you know what it is. You know how we do. Week 5, fresh. This is going to be the first look. I'm actually off today, so no excuse to give you a projected lineup here on the reels for a very successful week 5 on DraftKings. Fanduel, I probably made like 10% of money back. I'll be honest, I'm not like any of these other providers who are going to run away and say, oh yeah, well, it was a shitty business. Nah, I lost. So without further ado, let's get this thing started, shall we? As you already know, I love doing GPP lineups pretty much only. Partner crime, Tyler does cash games. So follow his Twitter and my Twitter, DFS Gurus, 434 DFS Gurus. That is the hashtag on Twitter where we post our results if you're looking for those fire-ass lineups. So without further ado, let's get this thing started. All right, I love Lamar Jackson as a cash game play. Again, going against Pittsburgh, who we will find the end and or of tonight. Pittsburgh just can't stop the running. So Lamar Jackson being a dual threat quarterback, I love that situation right there at 8,300. I love Deshaun Watson at 8,000. He kind of let me down this past week, or should I say yesterday. Dak Prescott is very scary as well, going against a Green Bay defense that has turned it up. Especially in the secondary. But for real, to be honest with you, if I had to choose a Dallas player, it's probably going to be Ezekiel Elliott at his price, where the Packers really cannot stop the run. I just asked Dalvin Cook and Leonard Fournette. So my quarterback of the week right here is going to be Matt Ryan at 7,700. I love Matt Ryan going against this Houston Texas D. The dude is just, other than yesterday, he's been averaging at least 20 points per game and fantasy scoring, as you see right there. He pretty much still had it if he just didn't have a fumble, as well as if he didn't get sacked 5 times yesterday. Look at that, almost 400 yards on 53 pass attempts against my beloved Tennessee Titans D, who has a solid D, and they're in the same range as Houston, so that's why I kind of love Matt Ryan for what it is. I believe the over-under on that game could be 48.5, and I love that. I think that is the second highest total on the slate, if I recall correctly. But I just love Matt Ryan right here in this position, prime, ready to go. Like I said, I love Ezekiel Elliott at 8,800. I think this is a week where I'm not going to really be too keen on Christian McCaffrey. The team ended up actually kind of fading him away a little bit last week, and it didn't really cost us, nor did it help us. But I feel like this is a week for sure where I don't think I'm going to be able to pay. If you say, oh, if you get Zeke, you can go up to $300 and get him. Nah, trust me, you're going to need that $300. So I love Ezekiel Elliott as a cash game play and or a GPP line. I'm going to go with David Johnson here at 6,800. David Johnson, to me, is somebody who has been slept on this whole year. He's pretty much been cooking. Cincinnati Bengals cannot do very well. They're not a good tackling defense, especially if a running back is coming out of the backfield as a target, meaning that like if he's getting dump offs and passes and et cetera and screens and all that, Cincinnati cannot defend that out of a pass catching running back as great as David Johnson is. So you might see a little bit glimpse of that tonight if you're watching an 8 o'clock game here against James Conner. James Conner's kind of that same thing. I'm looking out for a big breakout game from James Conner. So in all tale, if you're watching this before the game, just remember that I said this. I love David Johnson as a lock. I believe you just have to go strong in on Hoyles on him and pretty much call it for what it is. All right. We're going to stay in that Houston game, and I think that the motto and the trend is to attack whatever game that you're going to do a stack of offense. You need to get one of the other players on the other outside of the ball as well. And I'm going to go with Carlos Hyde at 5,600. All right. Atlanta's another team as well. Everybody used to remember that Atlanta a couple years ago was one of the fastest sideline-to-sideline team defensively. They're not like that. They have a lot of key people hurt, okay? Key people hurt. They just lost their safety, Keanu, last week. They can't tackle either. So this Atlanta and Houston game, I'm suspecting is going to go up and down the field. That's just pretty much my prediction right here on the first look on Monday night. So Carlos Hyde, I think, is what you have to tackle in. I'm locking in Julio Jones. I don't really think Jonathan Joseph is going to hang. Jonathan Joseph, who was like old as shit, I don't think he's going to hang with him. Julio is a monster. Now, Julio doesn't have the TD upside that we like, but we do love the yardage. We do love the targets, of course, as well. Now, yeah, I guess yesterday he didn't really get that many targets, but as you see, if he gets close to 10 or 11, Julio typically gets damage done. So, remember, we have Dick LeBeau as our defensive coordinator, who, besides Wade Phillips, in my opinion, in NFL history, and you could probably throw in Bill Belichick. I love those three guys as coordinators. I don't think you can ever steer wrong from those three guys. So, Julio should have an easier task going against this secondary here in Houston. So we're going to piggyback with that with DeAndre Hopkins, 8,500. Another receiver yesterday that did not go off yesterday. I had high hopes on him. He was in prime position to do what he's supposed to do, and he just got locked up. It's plain and simple. Then he threw a pick. So they were desperate to see, like, yo, can we get him to do anything? And unfortunately, the Houston just couldn't get the ball to him. He got 8 targets. He caught 5 passes, but there was no yak, which is what DeAndre Hopkins is. He's a yak receiver. And, he just was locked up. I'm very iffy. I don't know who I want to choose against the Tampa Bay New Orleans game. These two teams typically always go on the over. I think right now they're slated at 48 points. I'm going to take the over on that. We just saw Tampa Bay put up 55 against the Rams last night. Jameis is just Jameis. I don't know if you can go with Chris Godwin, who I benched yesterday because he supposedly had a hip injury. I'm kind of mad. I mean, regardless, I'm going to win this week. But I benched him for Dontrell Inman because I knew Inman was going to get a lot of targets, second fiddle to Phillip Rivers yesterday. But in all, I don't know who Marshawn Lattimore is going to play right now. I can give you that answer in a little bit, but as of right now, I'm going to expect that they're going to put him on Godwin because he's been the more threadiest receiver. So I'm going to go with Mike Evans at 7,700, okay? And I love New Orleans, don't get me wrong, but I don't know. I just feel like you have to attack this team. Jameis is just in his zone. Let's stay in that same game, right? And if you look historically against the Tampa Bay Bucks, every tight end has had a field day against them every single week this year. Okay, Tampa Bay has done a great job tightening up that secondary that was once abysmal last year, where every week we knew if we saw Tampa Bay on the schedule, we played the passing team against them. Okay, this year is not the case, but what you do though is that you play the tight end who is going against Tampa Bay because they can't cover them worth a damn. Okay? Pretty simple. I'm mad that I faded them yesterday. And I have this team as my defense in season-long fantasy. But I'm going with the Patriots. And after what I saw from the Washington team here in D.C. yesterday, it's just bad, man. It's just damn bad in DC right now. So bad. I have no choice but to play the Patriots. I looked at them yesterday and I said, for the price, I can't justify it, but I got proven wrong. And this is the week that I'm going to step up on them and take them. Okay. Now we're in the flex 4,700. We got to get a guy that's going to get a little bit of targets here. I got to come down. I got to remember who it was. And that is Lattimore. Lattimore has been one of the guys for Danny Dimes that he's targeting. So you see 5 targets, 7 targets. That's what I'm looking for. I'm looking for targets. Okay, for a minimal base price guy, I'm looking for targets. I'm looking for receptions, or I'm looking for touches. That's pretty much what you're banking on. So right now, if you had to ask me, my fantastic 4 lock: Matt Ryan, David Johnson, Julio Jones, DeAndre Hopkins. You have to lock those 4 in this week for your lineups. All right. Comment, like, subscribe, slide in DMs. You know what it is. You know how we do. Peace.